What's up, everyone? My name is Bobby, aka Lumberjack Smack, and this is a quick look. Joined by me is
Excuse me?
Mr. I guess I'm excited to have you here with me.
Yeah, I bet so.
A lot of things to be excited about. Chase, welcome back to the show. We are going to be looking at a new Nintendo Switch Online experience today. This is Super Nintendo. Have you heard of it?
I've heard of Super Nintendo, yes.
Well, it's a pretty great console for those of you who've been missing out under a rock for the last 30 years. On September 5th, Nintendo updated the Nintendo Switch Online experience.
Weird, right before everybody's Nintendo Switch Online subscriptions were about to run out.
I know. For the last year, they've been doing a pretty good job of adding new Nintendo Entertainment System classic games onto here. It's an app you download, part of the membership that you have. If you remember, they brought out the software, but they also had those really cool NES classic controllers that you could dock to your Switch and have to have that experience.
Right.
I think there was 20 games at launch for that when it first came out?
I don't quite remember.
There's a handful of pretty decent games. $20 a year is what they were charging for it.
The usual suspects. Your Marios, your Zeldas, a couple of interesting oddball things. Golf, yes, finally, despite being on the system forever.
Hidden into it.
Yeah.
But on the 5th, they brought out an update to this, which is a Super Nintendo, and you got all these amazing Super Nintendo games on here.
These are some great games, and some games that I've never played before.
Absolutely. There's 20 games at launch here. A quick rundown to get these games. So the actual app is free, but it is paid while behind an online membership. You can get that for $3.99 a month, $7.99 for 3 months, or $19.99 for an entire year. There is a family plan that costs $35. But
you can share it with people or something.
Yep. So if you have a couple of those happening, or if you're the type of person, I don't know if that's tied to if you have a Switch and a Switch Lite now that's going to come out this week. Who the hell knows? But today I wanted to just give you a quick rundown of what this looked like. Talk through a little bit about some of the games that are here, maybe some of the games that are missing that we wanted to see.
Sure.
And play into a few of them. So this is an emulator, which is nice. And if you've done anything with emulation in the past, you've got some save state stuff you can do. You can rewind. There's certain games that they did on the Nintendo. I don't know if they've brought that over here to the Super Nintendo, where they'll let you load in a particular one where you have certain gear and items or a certain part into it.
Yeah, I don't think they have those versions yet, but I imagine they will come.
Yeah. So let's do a quick rundown of the games that you have available.
Bobby, what is your favorite game here that is not Link to the Past?
My favorite game here that is not Link to the Past is going to be Super Mario World.
Wow, that's second easy answer.
I have a ton of memories with that. I guess the oddball one here that I would throw out.
There are a couple.
Yeah, I really like Super Ghouls and Ghosts. I think that's a fun game. Joe and Mac is a game that my brother and I played when we were little kids that was so weird, but I absolutely love this game.
I've never played Joe and Mac.
It's not good.
Okay. I haven't played Brawl Brothers. I haven't played Breath of Fire, which is something I should.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's one that I didn't have a whole lot of time with. I think my cousin played that around me a few times.
Let's jump into one. Let's see anything. Pick anything that isn't the one that we're going to end on.
Let's check out Super Ghouls and Ghosts.
Okay.
So here, when you load it up, you got at the bottom of the screen,
and they're not just Nintendo games. This is yes, they're all on the Super Nintendo, but these are not all Nintendo published games. This is a Capcom game.
This is absolutely a Capcom game. So if you wanted to get into the actual menu, what that looked like, you do ZL and ZR, and then this brings up, you can load as a spin point, which you can save here. You can create one, you can reset the game or go back to your selection.
Are there no order options?
Not here.
Okay.
So you got this gradient, kind of a half-tone print.
There's no choice. There's no choice to stretch the image horribly.
Not that I've seen here. No.
Thank God.
Thank God. Right now, Chase, you have a Super Nintendo Classic.
I do.
Some of those options are there that you can change the borders on.
Yeah.
Very similar.
And a lot of those games are also there.
Yeah.
Some of them aren't, though.
One in particular, Star Fox 2.
Right. Star Fox 2, Donkey Kong Country is not anywhere
Trials
here. But then this has Stunt Race FX, which is something that has not gotten a port for anything ever.
Sure.
I think they said this is the first time it's ever coming out to anything other than Super Nintendo. So that's kind of cool. So there are some exclusives. There's reasons to get either one. But as people who own both of these things,
right?
where do you kind of come down, Bobby? How do you feel about this?
I'm a big fan. It's kind of like a camera, in my sense. They say the best camera is one that you have with you.
Sure.
And the Super Nintendo Classic is adorable. It's a really cool piece of hardware. Looks great on a shelf. But it's one more thing to have hooked up and one more thing to switch over to. And if I was like playing a game, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to wrap up my night, kind of unwind. I'm going to play Super Ghouls and Ghosts. I can pop over to this and have it, or I can have it with me. And there's a huge value to that.
Yeah. I tend to agree. It's a bummer. I know Nintendo needs to get theirs, and they found ways to get extra money out of the NES Classic and the SNES Classic. But man, I just want these games on Switch. I want Star Fox 2 on Switch. I want Donkey Kong Country on Switch.
No,
and those may eventually come.
Undoubtedly, they're going to be coming. I can't see how they wouldn't. One of the things to note also is I talked about the.
Well, they're not selling the SNES Classic anymore, right?
No,
like they had their limited run, and it was finished. So
and they've talked a little bit about the potential of.
This game's hard.
This game is very hard. They also have pre-orders went live yesterday. So to date today is the 17th of September. Yesterday on the 16th, you could go in and you could buy the Super Nintendo Classic controller for the Switch. They got a Bluetooth version of that controller that is going to be available, shipping on the 18th of September. It's $30 a piece. It's a little steep.
I mean, for that kind of a controller, for any controller, that's pretty cheap. But for like a controller for something that you're barely going to use on your Switch, yeah, that seems a little steep.
I'm a sucker for nostalgia, and it is it's my favorite system ever.
That's fair.
And so I wanted to have that available for it. So I do have on this one, I just did a save state that I could load in. You go right into it. It's super fast.
Wow, you got really far.
I know. I just loaded this up the other day to check it out. So far, latency stuff where, I was playing...
yeah, you're playing with a Pro Controller, right?
I'm playing with a Pro Controller, and things seem to be working fine. One of the things to note, on my Super Nintendo Classic, that ships with some pretty small cables. And it made it difficult in a modern...
Longer than the NES Classic, but still
not great.
Still short.
One of the things to talk through also is that there's a lot of these modern television setups. We're playing on a pretty large TV right now. Definitely not a CRTV from the olden days. But it is something where I think that it's harder to be up close to the television to play. So I bought some third-party Bluetooth Super Nintendo controllers that you have to get a special adapter for the Super Nintendo Classic. I noticed there's a little bit of an input lag that didn't always make an impact on your gameplay, but for some of these twitchy jumps in Mario, you'd have a situation where that could be a bit problematic. So I'm excited to see how they've sorted that out from Nintendo.
And these are really basic. You show these are your options that you have available to you. You're not gonna get you're not gonna get scan line options, which fine by me. I hate scan lines.
Sure.
But you're not gonna get those border options.
And that stuff's on the Classic.
Some of that stuff's on the Classic for sure. A lot of that stuff you can find on more modern emulators if you're playing on your PC.
Sure.
You're not gonna get your weird mods or Kaizo Mario stuff that use the same ROMs from these things. But just the convenience of having these here available on your Switch with you is pretty cool. I'd say.
And I think that we all wanted this earlier.
Sure.
If we're going to get into an annual cycle of them updating this, look, $20 a year. If I don't want to shit on Nintendo here, but there's not a whole lot you get out of that service. Your friends list, you can't do much besides see what they're playing. It's not conducive to talk to one another.
There's very few games that actually really take advantage of it too.
Correct.
Like Mario Maker is probably the biggest one. Smash is up there. Splatoon. But how many people are going out and playing ARMS anymore?
Right.
And a lot of these games just don't even need it. Played Breath of Fire.
We'll see what happens here.
Probably should. RPG's really great for...
Yeah. So I don't know much about that game. We'll go into it later.
Wow, great.
I mean,
I guess we'll never know.
I'm going to show you Joe and Mac, the real gem.
All right.
Hidden in here.
Let's do it.
So again, I think that they're adding
That's
this.
a great sprite, man. That's already there's already something pretty.
It's co-op chase.
I don't need to.
Now, I don't know if this is one of those that you do get the option for online co-op. Some of these games, I think that they were going to add in some of those game modes to it. That was always the big thing here, was they were going to have the ability to play with your friends on some of these games that were never there before.
Bobby, what isn't here you'd like to see?
I mean, you mentioned a few of them. Donkey Kong Country is a huge one. I think Star Fox 2, I would have liked to see them bring over the entire catalog that was on the Super Nintendo Classic over to this. Earthbound is one I think about. I'd like to play through that completely. Secret of Mana, that's another one I'd like to check out. Wasn't there?
Although there's lots of ways.
Sure, and I understand like why that wouldn't be here for it. Wasn't there?
A Collection of Mana just came out on Switch, so
right?
I highly doubt that one's gonna. But
But those are some of the ones I would have loved to see here. Again, this is top tier gaming right now.
I mean, I like the sprites.
The sprites are good.
The sprites are good. The game might not be that good, but the sprites are
And honestly, look, here's what I'll say. Like, there's some really good animation for how old it is and like how responsive it is here. It's not wonderful, but you can't get in, really, Joe. Who you kidding?
He's a caveman. Intelligence is.
I've been told that a lot. So we're at Cala Valley. One of the things I liked about this game, I remember, is you would get some more projectile-based weapons. So I have this melee club right now, but there would be some really weird things. Like you'd have a stone that you would throw that would be shaped like a boomerang, and it would actually, fly back to you. So now I'm literally spitting on a projectile. It's kind of got a little bit of a Sonic feel as far as some of the layout.
No, it doesn't.
Not like the way it plays, but the look of it. Some of the sprites.
Yeah, I mean, you get your parallax scrolling. That looks really nice. I can see some Green Hill Zone elements in here. Sure.
Climbing mechanic is
all right.
wonderful.
Back. Let's play some Mario Kart and end this thing. But I think we need to go. Do you need to like switch to 2 players or something?
So I think the way that works. Let me just go back to that. If I switch over to this here, this is only going to show you games that are suited for it.
Oh,
so
very cool.
It'll switch that over. So if I go back to 1 player,
okay,
I now have
that's a cool setting.
A little bit more to see.
Interesting.
And this will let me know. Okay, we're going to 2 player. So I'm there.
There we go.
Cool.
Well, in terms of games that I'd like to see, probably a lot of RPGs. I'm controlling.
You're controlling.
I've got the power.
Nintendo power.
I would like to. I mean, Final Fantasy 3, which is actually 6,
which was on the classic.
Is it?
I'm pretty sure there's Final Fantasy on there.
I thought it wasn't because Secret of Mana.
That might be the case.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And Chrono Trigger obviously is a big one that hasn't shown up anywhere. I feel like that's one.
What version of that would they bring?
I think you could just a Super Nintendo one. Like that's what this is emulating those games. I don't think you'd have to bring over the iOS or whatever. But yeah, like there's a couple of. I mean, I would love for them to play Final Fantasy V and bring it over here. I love that game. Or even better, some of those Fire Emblem games.
No kidding.
There's some pretty good Fire Emblem games out there.
Well, and they just announced the other day too that we're getting a couple Dragon Quest games. Which was one or
Dragon Quest 1, 2, and 3. Those are NES games.
Okay.
Oh, I don't know
So we're playing a little bit of Mario Kart on here.
Oh man, the turning is so much different than it used to be. Oh no.
It's bad, right?
This isn't. I love this game.
I do too.
But
is this your favorite Mario Kart?
It's up there.
Yeah, it's good, man.
I would say it's my favorite if I remembered how to throw. Okay, I know.
A lot going on there. So this is something that I think will be interesting to see how they do with online play. Like, how does that incorporate? Do they add in more features that way to come? My wife is super excited about this. This is one of her favorite video games of all time, and she's already making some trash talk around the house. So I'm excited when we get those controllers in to see exactly how bad she is at this game. She doesn't listen to these videos, so I can say that. I'm excited to see where they go and what they add into it.
Oh, there's still a final lap. Okay. I thought we were done.
No. Hardly.
Oh, no. Oh. Oh, I still did it.
Oh, shit.
Pulled it out. Pulled it out. All right, let's do one more because this is fun. And now I know how to play the game. You get to pick.
Let's change course. And let's do Bowser Castle.
Right.
So I had a ton of fond memories with this game.
Mm-hmm.
Such a great genre bender, what they brought into it. It's come a long way. I'm curious what they do with this. Like, I think that Mario Kart 8 coming over to the Switch was obviously done really well. I'd be curious if they put out another one on this version of the Switch, or if they just like bring it in more as like a games as a service type thing and add more courses and DLC to it. I don't really know.
Yeah, I don't see them continue this service. I think this is a cool addition to the Switch that makes me like having that service more. Even though I'm probably not going to play a lot of these games, and I'm probably not going to play it very often, it's still.
I have no problem giving them money every year to have these types of games.
Yeah, and it's cheap too. Like
It's
in
cheap.
comparison to what you're paying for PSN or Xbox Live, it's not bad at all.
And I mean, like, they're giving you games every month on those services. But one of the things I will say also is, I think that like Game Pass has done a really cool thing for Xbox, and this is a somewhat.
This is the closest thing to Game Pass that
Yeah,
Nintendo's probably going to get.
for sure. And I like the idea of like being able to check out new games that maybe I missed when I was growing up, that I could check out now and see like a lot of the hustle around that. Wow, that was not for me. You know, Chrono Trigger is a game that I've started multiple times and never got a chance to finish. Like, that's pretty high up on my list of what I want to check out and play. I'd love to see that eventually make its way over here. I'm doing really good, in case you haven't noticed, Chase.
Oh yeah, I've noticed. Hey, you were beating me for a while.
Okay.
I remember.
Did you?
Me.
Okay. I don't think that
Who's
is
in first?
You're in first, not by your own skill, but by my lack of skill. Let's get that clear. What we should try sometime is to see how this works over network.
Yeah, like there's some online.
I'd be curious to see how that would play out. Super Mario RPG. That's another one that I'd love to see.
Yeah, that's a very good call.
I'd love to see that brought over here. Paper Mario.
Paper Mario is
Oh, that's right. Sorry. But Super Mario RPG is one that I would absolutely love to see brought to the Switch. That would be a really fun one to take with you, actually.
Yeah, I think it's a nice one that because you can take your time, you can play here a little
Sure.
bit there and dip into it. Go back out to the.
You're
to the
driving,
games.
literally.
No. Can you? Oh, I have to. Oh.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Those. Nothing.
Okay. How do I get out? How do I get out, Bobby?
These two together.
Okay.
There you go. This to click them. There you go.
Oh, just a click. Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, I'm great at this. So yeah, like I love Yoshi's Island. Super Metroid is a good game that I need to play at some point. Star Fox, I love this Star Fox game so much. This is a decent collection of games. Dreamland 3, pretty good.
Yeah. A lot here. I mean, so you get all the Nintendo games they've added over the last 12 months. You get these 20 games here. Again, you don't have to have hardware dedicated to space. Those games weren't, or those consoles weren't cheap when they brought them back out. You also had to. There's a lot of really shitty things that happened. People buying them, selling them at a higher cost. Very limited run.
Bobby, I found it.
I'm not surprised. You sniffed it out. One of the things that I do hope to see is a 64 or Game Boy Advance games, Game Boy games coming to it.
Yeah, I could see probably Game Boy Well, maybe not. I could see a Nintendo like it's probably gonna come next year. But
Right.
Yeah, that's probably how that.
It's cool. It's a cool thing.
This is cool. It's very nice that it's here.
If you want to just check it out, $4. Now, I think you're a fool
For a month.
to spend $4 for a month when you can just get 20 for a whole year.
Yeah.
But if it's something that you're on the fence about, there was a trial too. I think like a temporary thing. I know also if you were an Amazon Prime subscriber, they did that giveaway where you can get a full year of the service. So for those of you who took advantage of that, you did get a whole other year of this taken care of. But there's a lot here to be excited about.
Totally.
The one thing I will say as we wrap up here, they were on a monthly rotation on bringing the NES games to the platform. They've come out and said that they're not going to be doing the same thing here.
Yeah.
Which maybe we'll get a few more games dumped at a time then. Who knows? There's definitely a bigger library here to pull from too.
There is, but it shouldn't take them any more time. But I think they're getting by on the idea that these are bigger games.
Right. More into it.
What are you
Sure.
talking about?
Sure. Really? I figured you'd be all about this game.
Problem with Pilot Wings, I just don't.
Well, you want to follow the green dots,
Yeah.
and you want to start to descend.
Yeah. My altitude's going down. I feel good. Do I have landing gear or something, or does it just automatically go?
There it is. Rate of descent was too great, Chase. Like a Southwest flight.
How do I brake? How do I brake?
Don't. You break down.
All right. Well, that's the SNES on Switch. Yeah, I think there was a bit of a landing failure.
Yeah, a little bit.
Thankfully, these games landed just fine.
Oh, there it is. Hey guys, thanks so much for tuning in. You can find Chase and I, accompanied by Johnny Amosich, every week on the Casual Hour. If you like what we're doing here, please give us a like and subscribe. You can find more of the content on lumberjacksmack.com or Lumberjack Smack YouTube channel. Casual Hours on Anchor.fm and any other platform that you listen to podcasts on. It's a really dumb good time, much like what we've done here with the landing gear of Pilot Wings. So thank you all for watching, and let us know what games you are most excited about that are here and what is to come. Thanks, Jace.
Thank you.